What it do, what it is. This is the Peace Dealer. I'm gonna do something a little bit unorthodox. Get some nice driving and magic moon messaging in. Yeah, moon in Pisces, sun in Gemini. The moon is in Pisces. Damn, I'm seeing places I've never driven to out here. This is really interesting. Shout out to Infinity. Shout out to Infinity Gang. Moon is on Saturn in Pisces right now, and the sun is in Gemini. So we have reached the conclusion and completion of this transit, of this Gemini season, relative to the new moon in Taurus that kicked this off. There we go. Getting to that good desert land. Ooh, I should have probably just gone there. Yeah, that's it right there. I like that. We do have, once again, like I said, how do I say it? I was looking for desert land. That's what I'm like, oh, we got it. We had the new moon in Taurus. Then we had the moon in Virgo, which was the quarter square. Then we had the moon in Sagittarius, which was the full moon. And now we have the moon in Pisces, which is coming into 270 degrees relative to this angle of the conclusion of said transit, Gemini season. The seeds we planted, activated, and integrated, well, we done. And the moon coming through Pisces here is giving us this completed divine understanding, the final perspective of why, especially in causality relative to, of course, let's say, Saturn, why events have played out the way they played out, and what specifically you are meant to really gain as well from the sequencing of events. This is actually, I think, a really good crescendo. I think this is a very, very important transit as well, especially when we take into account the whole notion. Y'all gotta see this. Oh my God. Yup. Damn. I've never been out here before. Especially in understanding the reason why, personally, you have engineered the new programs in your mindset and your ideology and in your head. What's also important here too that we see is the divine understanding of the totality of the perspective, right? The moon on Saturn and Neptune is not only continuing this brand new conjunction cycle that we do every 28 days, but you're coming into deeper understanding and layered nuance every time the moon goes over Saturn. And in this time in Pisces, it's completing a lot of perceptual testing and understanding that will, with the sextile to Uranus, facilitate very amazing epiphanies. Word. That moving forward will do a whole lot to prepare you for Cancer season, especially by the time the moon is in Cancer trining Saturn that's in Pisces right now. So this completion of the cycle is wrapping up a perspective that you have recently activated, and you're going to start to understand the complete reasoning behind why you were guided by your own self and other, factors to really conclude on a lot of the inquiry, mindset, and programs, most importantly, that you've programmed and set in your brain and your mind. Okay? Another important facet of this as well is the embracing of the metaphysical. So we are understanding the metaphysical dynamics and processing of what your thoughts actually are and what your thoughts actually do. But relative to the mathematical angle of this, bringing in completion of the transit, this in preparation to bring us back to the new moon at the end of Gemini is going to now show you the highest state of what we've been harvesting to lead us up into this space. Because the Saturn and Neptune aspect of the moon transiting this is not only giving us this metaphysical Pisces understanding moon, but it's also literally tapping you in to the mechanics of your own imagination that will now provide more insight into the causality between what you think and imagine and what happens, true to the nature of mutable signs and energy, or at least states. So this is a very magical, game-changing transit, and you want to look forward to your entire belief system being shifted relative to the results of everything you've harvested in your perception. This is where you will start to complete this change relative to the activation and integration of magic spells, aka programs in your brain. Now you're understanding the completion with Saturn of the results of what you programmed. Like for any of you who actually operate a programming language, once you put in the language, you simulate it, and based on those results, you see, do I need to edit or tweak those programs or not? And so this is where you're seeing relative to how strengthened and reinforced your beliefs are now, based on what you spent the last 3 weeks activating. And the presence of Pisces will also bring much clearer perspective to insecurities that are projected collectively from other people or from the collective. And the difference between those perspectives and your individual perspective. All right. Because by the time the moon actually reaches the end of the sign and starts to move through Neptune, ooh, that's going to be super intuitive in a way that reveals more metaphysical, supernatural insight. And the sextile to Mercury and Uranus just ground a lot more extra dimensionally our ability to perceive things that we may not have realized were crucial or were even happening while they were happening. So I'm looking very forward to this transit. The quincunx being made to Mars and Venus are really just integrating more how we can apply this understanding of the changing of our beliefs so that we can more passionately express that socially to others. But really, other than that, now that we've completed the transit, you're over the next 2 days, be very mindful of the news you hear in collective broadcasting outlets, because, you know, given the square between the sun and the moon, we're understanding what's possible, and you're hearing, you know, what people believe is the truth, right? You're understanding the belief of your moon in Pisces, of your awareness of enlightened truth, sun in Gemini. And that doesn't necessarily mean that as real as what people are experiencing in front of them doesn't mean that it's actually real. When we have mutable sign squares, they bring up these dynamics where, yeah, your senses are telling you something, but the context of the situation is something entirely different. So just don't necessarily be too quick to act off on relevant insights that you may gain from the collective, from, you know, insights, because, you know, people have been known to get a lot of shit wrong throughout history. You know, it's just common, part and parcel. And that doesn't mean that people won't get certain things right, but just really be willing to put that discerning element. I think what's a really, really, really major important part of this transit is the Moon Saturn. Moon Saturn and Moon Neptune. This is just like completing a lot of, beyond just this Gemini season, what we've spent the past 2 months activating. So that's how you really want to see it. This moon in Pisces is going to bring everything you've harvested into completion. And then by the time the moon goes into Aries, you will be a lot more clear on what direction to move in so that you can gain the rewards from the results of this harvest, and who to share that with, who to connect with and enjoy that with. So I just can't help but really feel that a huge shift is happening right now. And relative to Gemini, then Virgo, then Sag, this is the last of the 4 shifts that we stepped into. And I think this might take a lot of you for surprise, because I don't think a lot of people are expecting this to be as big as it is, because it starts off super subtly. All right, so it's not something you're going to expect to happen. And as I say that, car wash, I'm going to be saying like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's great. But regardless, because of the metaphysical nature of this moon in Pisces transit, a lot of what's going to facilitate this change is unseen. You'll be able to sense it through your imagination, but we're talking about vibrations and energies beyond your ability to perceive physically, right? And so this is going to aid into the mental Gemini perception. And so what I'm saying is, it's a fancy way of saying synchronicities and signs are going to blow your fucking mind. And this is going to change the direction you take your perception, so that we can complete this Gemini season and now apply this change in your thoughts to move in that direction of your feelings, so that we can now kick off this summer cycle in transit. This will also do a whole lot to unpack the evolution Phoenix Farm, the super that you've programmed into your brain before you master them 3 months from now in Virgo season. So it's a really great period to just be receptive, great period to alter your state of mind, whether through illegal or legal drugs, to spend time in meditation, prayer, regardless of the moon sign. But you'll definitely be more sensitively receptive with this energy. I think you're going to really experience things inside and outside of you that are beyond what you may have been taught is normal or mainstream or whatnot. And this is going to set a new precedent moving forward, just having Saturn and Neptune energy in the same sign, amongst other things. The sextile to Jupiter will kind of buffer this natural expansion of your physiological quality of touch. So this will just enhance more your understanding of what you're imagining and how to actually, segue that physically. But yeah, prepare for a super duper magical transit. A lot of this kicks off post the moon on Saturn, which it is on now. And this is once again bringing into a higher understanding the completion of everything you harvested. So as you prepare to simulate the limitless quality of your brain function, and as Mercury is getting ready to go into Gemini to speed up this brain function and literally enlighten it, have fun with this, because you may find that you weren't leveling up for nothing, and your ability to apply this enhancement of perceptual faculty pretty much enlightens you to what new abilities you've recently unpacked with this new moon. And a lot of what changes in your perspective will prepare you for the next new moon at the end of Gemini. So it'll let you know how to really focus and adjust what direction you take, what approach you take, and all that other jazz. Y'all stay blessed as always. Okay. The energy hierarchy, I don't know, this Pisces transit will really make more clear in a mental sense what unseen dynamics are real-time affecting you right now, and how to incorporate the completion of those dynamics so that you can change what you're currently going through right now. All right, peace. Boom, diggity dog. Godspeed.